What's up, Berserker Patriot Store family? Hope everybody's having a blessed night. Hope everybody's safe. We're not using the software tonight. YouTube's still having problems, so I'm not screwing with it. So we're just going to go live like this, and we're going to look at how stupid these Democrat politicians are and the things that they're saying. And we're going to decide if you think that this is what America's values are, and this is what should be running our country. What's up, buddy? Give me a second here. We'll let a few people come on. We're about to watch some videos of some things that these politicians say and how smart the Democrat politician leaders are. Because we got a real problem right now. Messages. What is this? Oh. Gomez. 5. So we're setting up some stuff right now, guys. Give me a minute. I'm getting some things set up on here. And, so, learned how to do a few more things. I hope you're all blessed tonight. Hope everybody's been safe for the past few hours with the crazy shit that's happening out here. So, on top of the Alabama shooting, which if you don't know about that, 14 shot, 2 dead, the rest in critical condition. Not fully critical. One was released. The others are still in the hospital. In danger of their lives. So, on top of that, there was also a church shooting this morning that nobody's even talking about yet. So, it's just getting real stupid out here. Every day, there seems to be a shooting, and we're going to hear right now, some of these videos are a little older, but this is how the politicians feel. This is how the Democrat politicians feel about this. That's all right. You just are jealous because you want to touch these nipples. That's why you're calling me gay. It's okay. You hate me because you hate me. It's all right. We all know. So it'll all work out in the long run, everybody. So we're going to use... Hey, yo. What's up, Bruce? How you doing tonight? Absolutely. Trespassing, disorderly conduct, and the majority of them were. Nobody was charged with insurrection, just so everybody knows. Everybody was charged with simple things like trespass and disorderly conduct. The problem with that is the maximum penalty for the crimes they were charged with is like maximum 6 months in jail, and a lot of them sat in solitary confinement with no, Chicago, all the crazy, here's the thing about Chicago. The streets are full. Did you see the Bernie Sanders fucking rally today? Holy fuck, bro. This rhetoric these people are pushing is insane. Man, look at how many supporters I got on here right now. Nuts, huh? You're out beating the trolls for once. Usually I had 2,572 comments from my trolls on this afternoon's live. So... And, they're my best friends, I guess, because they fill my stuff full of everything. I finally figured out, we're starting the podcast, Tuesday morning, by the way. So we'll have an official podcast going as well. I say we because me and my dog are one person. She's never been away from me in 13 years. And so technically it's we because there's me and her. I'm not speaking of myself in the third person, just so you know. And Jesus is with me too. So we. She is an Alaskan albino husky. Kira, you don't want to wake up right now? That's fine. We just got back from our walk. We did 3.5 miles this afternoon. Because solitary confinement is a form of torture. They weren't put there because they got in any trouble. They were fucking, you don't know about you haven't heard any of the stories. This government made them sign NDAs so they can't speak about it. Only certain ones of them have gotten out and spoke about this, but they held them in solitary confinement the majority of the time they were in there. They would turn the heat all the way up and smoke them out, basically heat them out and stuff like that. They were basically torturing them in there. It was quite the crazy situation. Something that you would see happen in communist countries and third world countries. You know what I mean? They said they weren't feeding them the way they were supposed to. Yeah, it's very illegal, but guess what? Good luck getting the Democrats held accountable for anything they fucking do. I mean, we're gonna hear one of them right now. This is old Ratchet Crockett right here. We'll go ahead and start playing a couple of these videos. We're gonna go on the TikTok format tonight. I don't do that ever, but it's easier to get a few videos in at a time. But this is what this Ratchet Cratchit fucking crusty crotch fucking Democrat has to say about crime. Okay.
People to know that just because someone has committed a crime,
Sorry, I gotta turn my.
That is completely different. It's more so about your mind.
All right, let me let it start over. Here we go.
People to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. People to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal.
Okay, answer your question. Let me go back and I caught your. Who did it? Can you answer my question, Benito? Who did what, Benito? That's illegal. The guards, the jails, the prisons they were in. They were held in prison in the liberal fucking districts. They're still releasing all these Antifa members that got arrested. All 100 of those Antifa members that got arrested yesterday, they're already out. They were let out, no cash bond. So I mean, they're getting arrested in these Democrat woke ass cities, and then they're not getting prosecuted. So they literally don't give a fuck. Why did that just all shut off? So, it's back on. Okay. But yeah, they literally don't care. Show me Trump on the Epstein list. Show it to me. Because Thomas Massey read all these names off on live TV this morning, right? And all of your Democrat big fucking fat politicians were on that motherfucker. But there is no evidence anywhere that Trump was on the Epstein list. The flight logs and the Epstein list are two different things. You understand that, right? Epstein was a billionaire that did business with every single billionaire in this entire country. But the only billionaire in this country that kicked Epstein out of every one of his places and banned him for life was Donald Trump. And I quote, he went on TV in the 90s and said, Jeffrey Epstein is a weird, creepy little dude and something's not right with him. So get your facts right. Because you can go through my channel and find the original Epstein list that was posted, and Donald Trump's name was not on that. And Donald Trump's name was not on the new list that they just put out either. But all of your Democrats were, and some of these princes in Europe and all these places were. Here's the fact of the matter. The strategic reason we're not getting the Epstein list right now is because a lot of these billionaires that are on this list are giving us money to stop these billionaires right now. So, of course, we're going to take their fucking money. Do I want the Epstein list? Right the fuck now. Absolutely all of it. And if Trump's on there, I'll be the first one to say, you fucking pedophile piece of shit, prison. Okay? Do you understand? I'll be the first one to say that. I don't live in no echo chamber. I don't give a fuck who you are. I find out you're a fucking pedophile fucking little kids, you're my enemy, period. I don't give a fuck. There's no redemption for being a sick, evil, demented, disgusting fucking pedophile. There is no redemption for that. I'm sorry for your luck. Any who should turn one of these little ones away from my face, says the Lord, should rather tie a millstone around their neck and throw themselves into the ocean. A millstone is a 5,000-pound stone that you grind fucking millet and wheat with. Okay, so any who should turn one of these little child of the Lord's face away from me, says the Father, should rather tie a millstone around their neck and throw themselves in the ocean. So, you know, nobody talks about the fact that, like, one of the main things you need to understand about Jesus is he was not purely peaceful. I mean, my God, he set up for 24 hours, went into the wilderness and then set up for 24 hours straight, putting the power of God into a whip that he braided out of a special tree that also had the power of God in it. And then he went and beat the shit out of the money changers and broke all of their stuff. You know, he told his disciples not to do what he was here to do. So, lay down your sword and walk with me is what he told his disciples. You know what I mean? Because Jesus was their sword. And when he comes back out of heaven and those feet touch the ground, he's going to have a flaming sword the size of the Empire State Building, and he's going to go whack across the earth. And all you evil demons are going to be cut in half and flee. And you are no longer allowed on this earth, and you will be expelled forever, because then the new Jerusalem, the new Israel will be coming, the city of gold, to be put on the earth. And the new chosen of God will be returned to the earth to live in perfection for eternity. So, understand that. Absolutely figs from thorns. And could you just imagine just coming into the presence of Jesus Christ like these people were able to? When you go to Israel and you just stand where Jesus was, your whole life changes. When you look at the books from the old Torah that are still there in the scrolls in Israel, that God is real. There's no denying it. You can feel it. It's just absolute crazy. You can stand where Jesus stood. You can walk the paths that Jesus walked. You can walk the path of Emmaus. You can do the trip of Emmaus, just like Jesus Christ and the disciples did. It's a crazy experience, and it's just, I'm telling you right now, you can feel the power of God when you're in Israel. And there's a reason to say Israel is the chosen land and people of God. You can feel it. So anyone who wants to deny Christ, guess what? No one can come to the Father except through the Son. So if you deny Christ, there's a pit of eternal damnation waiting for you. Oh man, the worst, the most fear I have in life, the only fear I have in life, is that I'll meet my Father and hear that I never knew you. I turned my face from you. I never knew you. And I mean, it speaks for itself, because I'd be sent to hell, you know? I mean, you can't drop any farther than that, you know? Well, I mean, I guess you could be a Democrat, but it is what it is. Let's get back to, I digress from what we came on here for. I respond to your comments, and I'm ADHD, so it pulls me off of my original quest. Distractions of all of this. And we're going to listen to some of these idiots talk about how guns are killing people, not trans shooters. This guy says, what are we going to do something about these AR-15s that are killing people? No, AR-15s aren't killing people. Trans people are killing people. Trans people with guns are killing people. So they're like, well, so you want to put more guns in the world? Absolutely, because an armed society is a polite society. And when a motherfucker walks in with their AR-15 and there's 25 people standing there open carrying a firearm, and they see that, and they're like, oh, fuck, I might not make it very far through this mole, huh? I might not make it very far. You know, when you go to other countries like Israel and how y'all love Gaza so much, The women are in the market with AR-15s slung around their fucking shoulder, and that's just a normal thing, everyday thing for them. You know what I mean? Nobody even has a second look, you know? You Democrats come down here to Florida and you see someone carrying and you call the cops. You're like, oh my God, I'm afraid they have a gun on. Well, then fucking go live in a hole somewhere, bro. It's America. You're supposed to have a gun on. Are you kidding me? It used to be a requirement to carry a gun in America. You're supposed to have a firearm because an armed society is a polite society. If everybody in the country is armed, the people that shouldn't have guns just won't be here. It's solved. It's quick and easy. You know, no overcrowded prisons. They just won't be around anymore because all the good people that are armed will stop the bad people that are armed. Do you know that more situations gun than a cop? Because the cop's not there, but the good person with the gun will be, you know. So the fact of the matter is more people are saved by guns than are hurt by guns. And if you don't want to be hurt by guns, then don't be a Democrat. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. I know y'all got to remember, we would never be able to do this as patriots, but in the cities, what was it, 2017? They had 500 fucking black people walking down the road in response to George Floyd as the NFAO fucking militia. Remember that? Walking around, throwing their AR-15s around, accidentally dropping their magazines out of the fucking magazine well. Not your clip. A clip would be an M1 Garand and it loads from the top. A magazine loads from the bottom. Okay. And a armor light semi-automatic rifle, not a fucking assault rifle, an armor light semi-automatic AR-15 shoots 1 bullet per trigger pull. Do you understand? It's not a fully automatic, it's a semi-automatic. And it has a 22.3 caliber bullet, which is the same size as a 22, which is what I got shot with 3 times and it did nothing. Except the difference is the powder load, which makes it more detrimental in the way the ballistics are shaped on it. Okay. Y'all say, well, it's cool to have a fucking 30-06, which you can take a fucking elk down with from fucking 1,800 yards a fucking way. But it's not okay to have the bullet that's specifically designed to defend people inside close quarters. That way it doesn't bust through your drywall and shit like that. You know what I mean? So understand that good people will stop bad people every time. Okay? The guns don't kill people. The gun doesn't stand the fuck up and walk out the door and shoot somebody by itself. Sick, demented, demonic, evil trans people in 2025 are the ones who walk out the doors with guns and kill people, because the last 13 shootings were all trans or trans-affiliated individuals. Whether you like that or not, left, it's a fucking fact. Okay? So you say we have a right-wing violence problem. Where? Where's it at? Please show me where. Because I'd be involved if we had one. I'll be the first one to admit that. I'd be involved. If we had, now we're starting to have maybe a little bit of a, not a violence problem, but we have defenders coming out into the streets in the cities. The past 3 nights in a row, you motherfuckers got shut down by either the state police or patriots showing up in mass, beating you up while they're wearing a blow-up dinosaur costume. That's fucking hilarious, bro. That dude looked like a retarded raptor and he was slinging you around like a ragdoll, Antifa. That's the way to do it right there. What we got to do is we all just got to dress up like the Avengers and go counter-protest these people. And then when they attack us, we beat them up in costume. So at least we can make a little bit of fun out of it. You know what I mean? No, Trump's already had his 2 terms. I mean, technically, legally, you could get around the fact that they cheated us out of 2020 and say that 2016 wasn't a legitimate term because they impeached him and colluded against him. I mean, legally, you can make that argument. But I'm going to be honest, at this point, I would like to see Nick Friedez running in 2028. I'd vote with a ticket with him on it in either direction. We all know how I feel about JD Vance. I can't stand the motherfucker. I won't be campaigning for JD Vance no matter what. I'd at least I know who my enemy is the other way around. I can't really think of who I would like to run right now. Obviously, after 28, Barron Trump sounds like a good option. AOC is going to be running, but we would within 2 weeks of her becoming the president of this country. First of all, she's not old enough. You understand that, right? She's not old enough to run for president. She would have to be vice president. She's only in her 20s, right? You can't run for president when you're in your 20s. You understand that, right? You can run for Congress and be the youngest member of Congress, but you have to have some experience under your belt to run for president. So, yeah, we'd be at war in this country within probably, I would give it at a very high estimate, 3 weeks. Yeah, 35, 3 weeks. AOC's not 35, though. She's in her 20s, isn't she? But, yeah, I mean, either way, it doesn't bother me either way. If the Democrats get back in, we can finally get this shit done the right way, the real way, instead of waiting for politicians to do it. So, I mean, either way, honestly, I can live with it either way, if we win or we don't win. Because they've already made it very clear. Like right now, Gavin Newsom's just announced while he's holding an AR-15 on TV, he's going to start confiscating your guns in California. Good luck trying that down here in Florida. Good fucking luck. In my part of Florida anyway. I mean, in my town and all the surrounding towns around me, we've probably got 15 different militias and 2 state militias just right here in my area. We got the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, we got the Boogaloo Boys, we got fucking all kinds of different stuff. The Berserker militia with us. We got the Oath Keepers, the Minutemen, we got all kinds of people around here. So, I mean, we got a Proud Boys headquarters not even 2 miles up the road from me. So, I mean, we're good here. They're not going to try any of that stupid shit here. If they do, that's fine. It doesn't really affect us any. You know, sometimes freedom seeds have to be planted for liberty to grow. Sometimes the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of tyrants to make your country what it was at one time. Don't advocate for violence, but if people bring violence to you, I do advocate violence of action, which means your actions would dictate how much violence I put forward. So if you're just speaking to me and you're yelling at me, to me, that's not violence. So there's not going to be a physical reaction from me if you're just speaking to me. Now, if you get hands-on or you touch someone I care about, then my violence will match your action. Maybe go a little lower your action. But violence of action is what Republicans practice, and murder and evil is what you Democrats practice. So let's go listen to a couple of your representatives, and you can see how brain dead they are. Okay, we can confidently say your politicians are absolutely brain dead. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, fucking terrorist from Somalia. I mean, what do you have that's worth anything on your side? You know what I mean? What do you have that's accomplished anything except for fucking the most shit in the streets that you've ever had in your fucking cities and the worst crime that you've ever had? You know? Why is it that only the Democrat states are the ones that are so fucked up and none of the Republican states are? Because, you know, I don't have to walk outside and see gangs murdering each other where I'm at. Even in Miami, you don't have to see that shit the way it is in Chicago or Portland or California or anywhere like that. So why is it, if you Democrats are so much better than all of us Republicans, why is all your shit so fucked up? You know, why do you have so many problems in your states?
Powering on.
Why is it that your states are losing corporations by the thousands? Why is it that you can't get jobs? Why is it that you have illegals being taken care of before your own people. You know, it's because you vote for that shit. That's why. It's because you vote for that stuff. And they continue to vote for this stuff. That's why I have a problem with what we're doing with the federalization of the cities right now. Because if we're just going to federalize the cities and we're just going to have the military go in the streets and do the job of the cops and then never fix the corruption of the politics and the fact that the cops won't do their job and uphold the Constitution, then the only option is permanent military in the streets. And that I'm not okay with because I'm not a fucking communist. You comrades, though, that love AOC should be all hunky-dory about federalizing everything. You know, the Democrats are fucking loving this right now. This was their plan. This is what they wanted. Because now, if they do win the midterms, because this is how the reality of life works. Wi-Fi, man. Sorry. My phone keeps switching over to Wi-Fi. I don't know why. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, normally the Republicans win, then the Democrats win in the midterms, and the Republicans win, and the Democrats win. So, with them having military in the streets right now under us, they'll just be like, oh, well, we're not the ones that put the military in the streets. Y'all did that. And do you think they're not going to fully implement the power of the military against their political enemies? Shit, we already know they will. We already know that they haven't dropped any of the charges against Trump. They're pending. They're holding them pending until they can get into power. You know what I mean? So they're just waiting. All of these charges, all of this stuff they've been going after with us all of this time, they're just waiting until they get back in power so they can utilize that power against us once again. No, I like to read. I prefer to read. That's why when I talk to you about the definitions of words, I'm not getting the definitions of words from the news or the government. I'm getting the definitions of words from the Webster's Dictionary from 1988 when the original words were still what they were supposed to be. You know what I mean? Or I do search news sources, obviously, to give social media content, but I prefer to find my source. Like I'll go to articles. I don't go to a newscast and watch it unless I'm going to talk shit about the newscaster and a live. But I prefer to go through every single source I can find that the news organizations are talking about to see how they're trying to lead the story. Because with ABC, they bury the actual story. They bury the lead in the very end, so it looks like everything the Republicans are doing are bad, and then they admit the truth down at the bottom. I like to expose that. But most of my source information either comes from military websites, DOJ, Homeland Security, DHS, places like that, or some of my brothers that are still actively in 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, Army Intelligence right now. I'll never expose a source if they don't want me to, but most of my sources don't mind me talking about this kind of stuff. And all of my school board information and my county commissioner and representative information, I go to state meetings and county meetings and I speak for communities. That's what I originally got famous on social media for before I got canceled during cancel culture. So I actually go, like, we just had a meeting with Greg Stubbe not 3 weeks ago, the representative of Florida, to speak about some of the things. I'm about to do a interview with General Flynn now that I'm back on full time, and I'm going to try to get another interview with Greg Stubbe, who's the representative for the 119th district right here in Southwest Florida. So, and then we'll go up from there, because this time we're going to travel to all these places that we're not just going to stay in Florida this time. We're going to travel up probably to a couple of the Tapusa events in Arizona. We'll be heading out Texas, California. We're going to be checking out what really is going on at the border. Try to be as transparent as possible about everything that's happening. I'd like to get up and try to get some interviews with Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and people like that, which obviously I'm going to have to start at somewhere like with Alex Jones. And then once people see me going on the Alex Jones show again, other people will start accepting my requests. Because once you reach a certain amount of followers, like I said, before the end of this week, I'll be back at about 7,000 followers. So at 5,000, YouTube will send me my first play button again. Okay, and the fact that I got 5,000 within 3-week period, they'll send me a upgraded membership package, which means I could add extra perks to your guys' memberships when I start that tomorrow. So we'll have members only content that would get banned or deleted normally on YouTube. So when you have your members only channels, you can say whatever you want to without YouTube banning you for it. So we're going to start doing that as well. And then the podcast and the Berserker Patriot Store shop on YouTube will be 100% officially opened at the end of the week next week. It'll be all kinds of merch up here. So look out for that as well. And as soon as the new camera comes in, we'll be able to get better content going around to some of these Antifa rallies. Because starting October 18th in Florida, there's about 150 different Antifa rallies that are going to be starting up and happening here. And then if you go on their websites, the way they're organizing, I'll explain to you how these people organize. Because I've noticed a lot of social media videos asking about that. Okay, so we didn't have a Democrat headquarters in my town until last year. Blackstone came into my town and invested $28 million and opened 3 new Democrat headquarters. Okay, so when you go to Mobilize USA 5501, which is the Antifa symbolized shit, you get the Democrat headquarters in Southwest Florida. So they organize their rallies through the Democrat headquarters by going up to the Democrat headquarters and setting up the rally, and then they have their people show up too. Well, the thing about that is, though, even though there's just regular Democrats there, those regular Democrats take up for them every time and will surround you and attack you just as quick as the people that call themselves Antifa. Okay, so when they say, well, it's not everybody in the crowd, no, it is. It is. If you're over there with those people while they're espousing they're terrorists, you're a terrorist. If you back that, you're aiding and abetting terrorist activity. You know what I mean? So that's the problem we have. We got too many people saying, oh, well, it's not all of the Democrats. In 2025, if you're at a rally with a bunch of Antifa people, after you know they just celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk, the assassination, in cold blood, and they gleefully were happy about it and bragging about it, and then they keep saying they're going to kill the rest of us, to the point to where if you go on Blue Sky or TikTok, just type in "you're next" and watch those videos. There's millions of them. Okay, so it's at this point, there is no de-escalating this situation. There's just being prepared for the fact that we are at war and understanding that you need to keep yourself and the ones you care about safe. You know what I mean? That's the only thing we can do right now in 2025, because we're 10 months in and we haven't even gotten started yet. What do you think's going to happen when these people start getting rounded up by the hundreds, by the thousands at a time? You know, because right now the government, they're in these cities, but they're trying to get these illegals. So their mission statement right now, if you actually go through the military's mission statement and National Guard in these communities, isn't to go after these fucking terrorists. That's not their mission statement. The cops are supposed to be doing that. That's why Trump keeps telling Bondi, you have to take action right now and do something about it. So that's all we can hope for, is that within the next 6 months, because I honestly don't think the American patriots are going to wait much longer than another 6 months. I don't think I will. Nobody's making excuses. Release those motherfuckers. Absolutely. Right now, release those files. I'm not making any excuses for Trump and the administration, which, stop telling Trump to release them, because Trump's gone on TV 7 separate times in the past 2.5 months and said, release the files now. Who cares about the rest of it? He said that live on TV, but you people's brains are so fucked, you're so divergently fucked that you can't even see the fact that he's already said, release it all. And the people be damned. Because you understand that the names on this list will destroy this country, right? You do understand that. That's why Trump doesn't want to release them. All of your nice shit that you have, you're not going to have it no more if these billionaires get put in prison, because they're the ones that own it all. Sorry about that. You're not going to have all of the stuff anymore if these fucking billionaires get arrested. You're just not. Because they're the ones that own it. They're the ones that developed it. You're about to see what I have to do to get in my truck because of the left. I had to take this pole and shove it down inside the door here. I got to catch on this little hook. I got to hold this thing. I got to pull to the left and I got to pull open. They ripped all the guts out, as you can see? Ripped all the guts out, broke everything down in here. This window and that window are the only two windows I have left in the truck. Those are all busted out over there. So, yeah, fuck Israel. No offense, Israel. I mean, I got nothing personally against you. I'm not against Israel, but I want my country to keep its fucking money. I want my people to keep their money so we can worry about America and help America first. I don't give a fuck about any of these other countries. Y'all keep saying, well, fuck Israel and fuck you, fuck these places. But you don't say fuck Israel. You don't say fuck Ukraine, do you? You know, one of the most evil countries on the fucking planet that has actual Nazis in it, but you don't say fuck Ukraine, do you? That's stealing all of our money. And they're not using it for what they're supposed to be fucking using it for either. But that doesn't matter, because if you don't know right now, NATO just scrambled a bunch of jets and they're on their way right now. They're on their way out. It's looking like we might be in war within the next 48 to 72 hours. I doubt that. But with the way things are going, with the largest dogfight we've seen since World War II, 215 fighter jets between India and Pakistan fighting since yesterday afternoon. And then today, Russia went into some more NATO areas, and NATO has now scrambled their jets. So, I mean, war is looking inevitable, and that's not what I voted for. That's not what I voted for. Yeah, no, that absolutely they do. They spend all of their time. Every time I go live, all of my trolls are here. I already know that my trolls are going to be here. A lot of them are subscribed to my channel. You hate me, but you're subscribed to my channel. They'll unsubscribe every once in a while to make themselves feel better, but then they subscribe once they talk to me. Because listen, here's the point blank fact of the matter. Like I've said, I love you guys, all of you. I don't care who you are in here talking shit. Good. I'll never ban any of you because this is America and you have the right to talk all the shit you want to me. That's fine. I talk a bunch of shit to you. I get off on offending you people at this point. It's fine with me. Try to offend me. I love it. Try to break my mind. I love it. I live on your chaos at this point in time. I have adapted to the point where I thrive on you people attacking me. So keep coming and getting me. You're just gonna give me better content. That's all it's gonna do. You can't kill me. You've tried. You know, God doesn't want me dead right now. So it doesn't matter if you want me dead. If he doesn't want me dead, I'm not dead. You know, that's just the plain simple fact of the matter. So when I'm supposed to die, I'll die, not before and not after. You know, fucking, I haven't even worn my body armor anywhere I went today. Yeah, I do have to sometimes. When I do these rallies, I have to. I'll be honest, I don't want to get shot again. It doesn't feel good. It's not fun. In the moment, anyone that tells you that, oh man, I got shot and it hurt so bad, no, it don't. In the moment, you don't even know what the fuck happened. All I knew I had holes in me and I was leaking and it was fucking hot. It was hot. That's all I felt. It was hot because it hit you at such a high velocity. You know what I mean? That you don't even realize what's going on unless it hits you somewhere like in the spine that makes you react. But I thought somebody threw something at my head because the bullet went off the side. So on this side, the bullet went off the side. So I thought somebody just threw something at my head. So I came back, and when I came back, that's when I put my hand up, and that's when I got shot through my hand. And then I turned like this, and I don't know how they got me in the fucking ankle, but they must have been giving up at that point. So It's not like a huge, no, if it were a higher caliber, it might hurt a lot more. You know what I mean? It might hurt a lot more. But as of right now, all I get from that is I have headaches all the time now. Ever since that happened, I have headaches all the time. So, it is what it is. You know, probably got a little TBI from it. But it's not the first time I've been shot. Wouldn't be the first time I've been blown up. So, it's all right. You know, no matter what you do to me, I will always tell you I love you as a human being. I hate your works and your actions, and I won't hesitate to defend myself and defend the people around me, but I still love you as a human being. That's all there is to it. That's all that matters. You can't say the same, though. That's the sad part of it, is you can't just agree to disagree. You can't just sit down with someone like me, if you're on the left, and say, okay, we don't agree on this, but that's okay. We don't need to agree on this. We don't need to think the same way about everything, but we also don't need to murder each other and commit violence in the fucking streets. You know, it should be that simple, right? Should be that simple. Hey, you people putting those Mexican flags in here, you understand you're never coming back to this country once they kick you out, right? We've shut down all immigration at the moment. You know that, right? And if you do come back to this country, you're going to prison here before you get sent back to your country. You'll never get benefits in this country again. That's the highlight of my week, is walking in the stores and seeing criminal aliens getting pissed off because their government debit cards don't work anymore. Your healthcare cards aren't going to work anymore after next week when the new executive order goes into effect. None of it. Nothing. You're going to have nothing. For now, after this last executive order that was signed about illegals gets in effect, you understand, guys, you're caught hiring these people. You're getting charged with aiding and abetting felony charges, right? You get caught selling these people fucking merchandise or goods or giving them cars and stuff like that. You're getting arrested for it. You know, finally, we have a president that's going to come in and be savage enough to say, fuck you people. We're going to do what the law dictates we do. What war? The war that we're in right now in this fucking country between I won't even say it's the right and the left. It's between Christians and demons. You know what I mean? Because at this point, it doesn't even have anything to do with politics. They just want to sexualize everything, and your sexuality has nothing to do with politics whatsoever. Nobody gives a fuck about your sexuality or what you do with your dick. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Just shut the fuck up about it. How about you stand on something with some real substance to it? Like, you call us fascists. You want to stand against fascists. Let me explain to you what a fascist does, okay? A fascist shuts you down from speaking. They don't allow you to speak. They get you canceled from everything. That's what fascists do, okay? They get your social media shut off. They get you arrested when you protest in the streets. That's what a fascist does, okay? A fascist, when you try to speak out and you call them a fascist, they just mow you down in the fucking streets with a machine gun, and they wipe you all out off the face of the earth. They don't arrest you. They don't give you due process. They don't allow you to get in this peacefully protest. A fascist murders you and has no remorse for it whatsoever. So riddle me this, Batman. Would the fascists be the right, the Christians that are trying to be tolerant, that have not gotten violent with you at all? You can't give us one fucking instance where the right is violent, except for Nazis that we beat the fuck out of ourselves. You did nothing about. So there was 2 attacks by people that claimed to be Nazis with no proof that these people were in any white supremacy organizations whatsoever. And when they show up to our rallies, we kick the shit out of them and kick them out of our rallies. But then you want to kill all of us because we're white. But we're the racists and we're the fascists. So for white, we have to die. If we're Christians, we have to die. If we don't think like you, we have to die. That's the only option from you. You're not even saying put them in prison. You're not even saying put them in a gulag. You're just saying murder, murder, murder. Okay, I'm going to make myself a martyr. I hate myself so much that I'm going to go murder this group of people so they will kill me. Okay, well, guess what? We don't want to kill you. We want to keep you alive. We want people like you to go to state prison. State prison is much worse than death for people like you. Okay, that's one thing I will give to the felons and the convicts, is they might be criminals, but they are not bad human beings. There's a difference. You're horrible human beings, and they don't like people like you, especially when they find out you're a leftist. Then they'll know you're a fucking pedophile. Do you know what they do to pedophiles in prison? They let them stay alive, but you're going to get poked up every month, which means it's going to be a sharpened toothbrush or a sharpened fucking hairbrush or something like that, and they're going to stab you up in your back while they're raping you in your ass at the same exact time. Okay, Big Dick Buster's going to get a hold of you in there, and all of his friends will line up and run a train on you while they're just beating the fuck out of you and stabbing you, and then they're called a nurse so they can heal you up. And when you get out of medical and you come back, guess what? You get to do it all over again until they decide that they don't want you alive anymore. That's what prison is for people that are Democrats, because regardless of what you think, you can't tell me a fucking thing about prison. Okay, the people in prison love Donald Trump. You know why? Because he's the only president that signed prison reform bills. He's the reason that more black people got out of prison than any other president. He did more for black people than Obama ever did, especially prisoners and convicts. Okay, thanks to Donald Trump, they only have to do 67% of their time for dumb bullshit stuff like marijuana and things like that. You know what I mean? On the other hand, Joe Biden's the one who literally physically classified these drugs what they are, that caused the mass incarceration levels that we have in the American society right now. So, they have much easier ways in other countries to deal with terrorists and criminals. Much, much easier. And their prisons are much more harsh than ours are. So these people understand. See, when you go to prison in another country, you don't get out unless they want you to get out. At least here, you can plea down and get fucking deals and all of that shit. And we know every one of you are getting out, because the moment you go in, they say, hey, tell on somebody. Okay, yes, daddy. Yes, daddy, don't spank me. I'm going to tell on all my friends. Yes, daddy. Not even loyalty between your own people. It's crazy. You know what I mean? You don't even have loyalty amongst each other. The moment one of your own people doesn't agree with you, try to murder them. You've been on the side of ABC this whole time, and you shot the fucking building up because they fired a sorry piece of shit who was already on the chopping block to be fired in the first place. He's still getting fucking fired, just not that day because you shot up their building. That's fucking crazy. See, we get things done because we're right, true, and righteous about it. You get things done because you're fucking terrorists and you try to kill and intimidate people. But you can't intimidate people like me, and that really bothers you. That's why you try to assassinate us and try to kill us, period. Charlie was the worst for you because he was taking the kids that you're trying to indoctrinate away from you. You look more like the type that would deport, to be honest. That they would deport or that would deport people. Abso-fucking-lutely. I will volunteer to go do that job. So, let's see what this guy happens to say about...
So, Mr. Chairman, I asked, when is this committee going to have a hearing on gun violence?
You weren't here last year.
Claiming my time, Mr. Chairman, that's fine. I wasn't here, but, you're in charge now and mass shootings are completely out of control. And so you have the power to make the decision, decide whether we should have hearings on DC public urination or on mass shootings. You're the chairman. I'm just a lowly Democratic freshman. And so I implore that this committee start to look at mass shootings and the real weapons that are destroying people's lives, which are AR.
Absolutely. He was going to say AR-15s, but the real weapons, which are the trans community, that's the real weapons that are killing people, is the trans community. Because that's who's shooting people up. Like I said before, the guns don't shoot people. The trans community shoots people. Okay. We used to have normal criminals that did stuff like this, like Ted Bundy and people like that, you know what I mean? Jeffrey Dahmer. Now we have an entire generation of brainwashed, unuseful idiots, because they're not useful idiots, Nobody had to pressure the FCC to get rid of anybody, bud. He's already on the chopping block. Next week was his last week with fucking that organization. Nobody has to pressure anything. He's costing their fucking organization $140 million a year is what he's costing them. He's losing them $140 million a year. He has the lowest ratings of anyone on nighttime TV. All of your Democrats have the lowest ratings. I get more views on my lives than CNN does. I get more views. And I showed you that earlier. I got 22,000 viewers earlier in the 1 hour I was on. CNN doesn't even get 10,000. So your Democrat bullshit, nobody cares what you think anymore. Nobody cares. And guess what? He's still fired because he was already fired before that even happened. He's still fucking fired. He's still on the chopping block and is going to be gone. You guys we won. You don't win anything ever. We overturn it every single fucking time. Every time. Supreme Court just ruled against everything you guys wanted. And they're about to do another emergency ruling this week. You know, they're about to make it where you can open carry in the entire United States, right? The Supreme Court announced today they're about to make a massive ruling that nobody would have thought about either tomorrow or Tuesday. And they're about to rule on people being able to carry guns everywhere in America. And after that, they're going to start ruling on giving all the felons their rights back if they want to go join Border Patrol and help the fucking feds come after you people. It's already been talked about. We got this covered. That's what these people think. Like, they say, oh, well, there's only 4,000 border agents. Yeah, but when the felons start joining next year, there will be 50 million because all 52 million of these felons want their rights back. So there'll be 52 million of them to come after you. Do you understand? You're gone one way or another. And now the bill's getting put together to where if they have to and you run, boop. That's all I'm going to say about it. Boop. Because you're a criminal in the first place. You're a terrorist. We just got to get all of it lined up. Otherwise, you get into the Nuremberg realm of things where you're committing war crimes, you know, because it has been deemed that we are at war in this country. It has been deemed now, and we don't want to get accused of Nuremberg violations because then other countries get involved, and then we're at war in America with other countries too. So we got it. We're doing this the right way, and we're going to start coming for you. And when we do, it's not going to be the same way you came after us in the streets because we're not fucking retarded. And we have some kind of tactical strategy attached to our memory centers. So what we're going to be doing is what's called black bag, middle of the night black bag operations. Look up what that is. You know, so just wait. Everything we've told you has come true. Everything that we said was going to happen this year has happened. And it's going to continue to happen. Well, what the heck is going on with the Wi-Fi tonight? Okay. What else do these dummies have to say about you people? I forgot this.
One Democrat representative has been double smacked. An arrest and a motion to remove her from Congress. Before we get started, please make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue. Weaponry and...
What the fuck? Okay, I'm done with this shit. We'll just talk. I'm done. I'm not playing with fucking stupid technology that doesn't want to work right. It's been 2 days now. The fucking service in Southwest Florida has been all fucked up. All fucked up. You call this unhinged? Oh, you haven't seen Unhinged, sweetheart. You call this unhinged? Speaking the truth. See, that's what I mean about these people. They literally think the truth is like a headshot. They think that us telling the truth to them is like shooting them. You know what I mean? To them, our words are actual fucking violence to them. You know, that's the funny part of it. You people are so fucking weak and pathetic. I feel so bad for you Democrats. You're so sad. And I'm smiling. The whole time you tell me I'm mad, I'm smiling and laughing at you. That's the funny part of it to me. So, no, they ain't got to go nowhere, Christina W. I love you, but thank you. No. I'll never even tell somebody they need to leave my channel. You know, I'll never even tell somebody they need to leave my channel. Because part of what I do, if you know who I am as a social media personality from before cancel culture, is I go after people that make comments like this. That was my job. So I pen all these comments and I do research on who the fuck these people are. And eventually that content will get released just like it did before. But first we have to find everything there is to find out about these Democrats. We'll know everything. I'll do a dive so deep into your life that I'll know the last pimple you fucking popped. You know, I got fucking military friends that'll fucking are intelligence that will fucking get me information in about 2 motherfucking seconds. So this kind of stuff doesn't really bother me. Every single person that threatens to kill me has a file with the FBI. You know what I mean? All of them. They know who these people are. Words aren't illegal in America, though, is what you have to understand. That's why we're moving towards all of the deeming them terrorists, deeming them under the RICO. We're about to get it to where it's under the RICO Act for organized crime as well, which will intensify all the crimes and be minimum mandatories of 15 to 25 years when they go to prison. That's why we're getting all these laws stacked up on top of each other. That's what happens, okay? When you stack RICO charges on top of terrorist charges, it's an automatic minimum mandatory life sentence for these people. They don't get out of prison, okay? And when you get charged under the RICO Act and under foreign terrorism, you don't get a due process either. You just get a minimum mandatory. There's no court date. A minimum mandatory, they can't give you any less than what the minimum mandatory is. So there's no trial or anything like that. You're automatically going to get, if the minimum mandatory is 25 years, you're automatically going to get 25 years. There's no dills for minimum mandatory. If you're charged under a minimum man crime, you automatically get that time. You don't get concurrent time. You don't get time served. None of that. You have to do the minimum mandatory sentencing. So that's what these people don't understand. See, they don't understand how the law works. See, when they arrested us, they did it unconstitutionally with policies through the ATF and the FBI, so nothing ever stuck. All it did was made me $18,000 in lawsuits every time the FBI came out. When I won my lawsuit against the FBI and the state of Florida, I got 18 grand for that. You know, so all it does is cost the taxpayers money when they do it illegally. So this administration is doing it the right way. Just be patient. So once all the laws are put into place and they're actual codified laws, Congress is drafting up a bill to actually have an amended law on top of it. So once all that's in place and those laws are existent, we can just do whatever under law. It won't be the it won't be the FBI placing policies. It won't be the ATF violating the Constitution. It'll be 100% legit under the law, and there's no way to overturn that. You know what I mean? Because when you're a terrorist, you don't run under the same laws that we do. And that's where the Democrats fucked up. They weren't smart enough to sign the executive order making us legal terrorists. If they would have done that, a lot of us could have been held under the red flag laws of your state if you have red flag laws. In Florida, unfortunately, Pam Bondi helped push red flag laws here, and now we have red flag laws from when she was the AG. You know, in case you don't know about that. Pam Bondi's a sack of crap. I warned everybody about her before she got put in. You know, but nobody listens. We don't love Trump because he's good at picking people. You know? We like Trump because he's fucking savage and he's a businessman instead of a fucking politician. You know? I wish we had 2016 Trump right now, though. That's the Trump I want to see. It's 2016 Trump back in the office. You know what I mean? A lot of things have happened, man. A lot of things have happened. I've tried to kill the man twice. More than that, really. But twice that we have people getting prosecuted for. You know? So I'll keep making these videos every day just since I know it pisses you people off so much on the left. I'll make these videos every day. If I'm not working, or even when I'm at work, I go live a lot of times while I'm fucking working and talk shit to you. It's just fine. And I'll do it every time, so you'll target me. I want you to target me. I invite you to target me and not the people of my community, please. I invite that. These people have children, you know, to come after me. I'll even say this on camera. I won't call the cops on you. I won't press charges on you. Okay? Got it? I'll just deal with it myself. We'll deal with it. There doesn't have to be any law involved. You're not going to go to jail if you come after me. No law involved. Just make sure you come for me where I can see you face to face, and we're good. We don't have to murder each other either. You know, we can just be done with it. Get it over with. Be done with it. Go about your happy day. Don't be miserable anymore. That's what you kids need. You just need to get some anger out. You need to be able to beat the fuck out of each other in the streets like we could in the 80s and 90s. You know, you need a release. They locked you in your homes during COVID, told you couldn't go out. Your teachers were touching your peepees and your vaginas when you were little kids and telling you it's a good thing and playing games with you and your penis in school. That's weird. That wasn't supposed to happen. That was a bad thing, okay, left? When they did that to you and they touched you in your no-no spot, that was a bad thing. It was not okay. It wasn't a game. They were evil, horrible fucking people when they did that to you. Do you understand? So get that in your head. We could be friends. We don't have to be enemies. You know what I mean? You just got to understand you can't be a pedophile, you can't be a communist, and you can't be a terrorist in America. We're good. You know, you can be as mad as you want. You can get out here and protest all day, but you can't destroy people's shit. You can't break stuff. You can't impede traffic, because then you're screaming our constitutional rights. What about everybody else's constitutional rights? You have the right to freely travel unmolested in America. You can't impede people's way of movement in America. It's a violation of one of the most important constitutional rights. You know, and you're doing it for dumb shit. In Chicago, you're protesting ICE in the middle of the fucking interstate instead of at the ICE facility, because now they're beating the fuck out of you. You're doing this for content on social media, and that's the problem. You're not doing this because you have anything you stand for. You're doing this because you get views from your side, and then once you get arrested, you can raise money on GoFundMe. That's why the fuck you're doing this. You're doing this because you make money off of being a terrorist. And that's an awful fucking thing. That's an awfully horrible thing. You murder people because you want someone to remember who you are. That's sad. And guess what? We still don't know who you are. Can anyone in here off the top of your head name any of these fucking trans wackos that have murdered people? Besides Thomas Crooks, and that's only because we didn't get any motherfucking information and we're still pissed off about it. You know, can you? No, because nobody remembers any of you. None of you. We don't know who you are. I've never even met a trans person other than the ones that I've had to stop from attacking me. It's like y'all just come out of a fucking hole somewhere. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's just weird. Just all of a sudden you pop up in a community. You don't even live in that fucking community. You protest a bunch of shit that has nothing to do with the area you're in. It's like you're in the middle of the streets of New York screaming you're queers for Palestine. How the fuck is that going to help Palestine? You know, America has nothing to do with Gaza, right? Well, they can't make any policies towards Gaza. They can't make any policies towards fucking Israel. It's not a part of America. You do get that, right? You get all these places that you're protesting in the streets of America for. It affects none of these countries whatsoever. As a matter of fact, these people that you're protesting for look at you and say, man, I want to murder that fucking fag, is what they say. Because it's illegal under the death penalty to be gay in Gaza. You know that, right? The Palestinian people would murder you gleefully for their God. That's how the laws work in these places you are protesting for. And that's the funny thing. You protest for murderers, drug addicts, rapists, pedophiles, and terrorists. We protest for God, country, family, and the future of the fucking world. And you think you're in the right. That's the insane part of it. You hear what I'm saying, but you don't hear what I'm saying. All you hear is the insulting side of it. You don't hear the fact of the matter of what I'm telling you, though. That's the problem we have. If I'm wrong about something and I know I'm wrong about it, I'll tell you, hey, man, I fucked up. I was wrong. Sorry about that. Guess what? Let's move on and get to another subject that I'm right about. You know what I mean? I fucked up on that one. There's the right information. I've done many videos redacting my videos and saying, hey, I'm not going to delete the original one because I did fuck up, but I'll make another one letting you know, hey, I was wrong. That didn't really happen. Like the video I got from the guy that looked like Charlie was getting shot from behind. Well, other videos got released after the fact, and absolutely that's not what it was. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on. There's a lot of holes going on, but Israel didn't kill Charlie, guys. Come on, man. A bunch of wacko, evil leftist trans terrorists killed Charlie. That's who killed Charlie. That's who assassinated Charlie. So let's not insult the memory of Charlie Kirk and dumb down the fact that the trans community are terrorists. Okay? Terrorists. Oh, I can name one trans person. Blair White. I know Blair White is. I don't even know who she is, he is, that is, whatever. I don't know if it was a boy to a girl or a girl to a boy. I just know the name of the person because they were on Tim Pool's show. So that's the only one I can think of. But sorry, you're still either a boy or a girl. You didn't change who you are or your sex, because that's not possible. Either XX or your XY, and there's nothing else. And all you're going to say about that 0.1% of hermaphrodites, which, by the way, only one or the other organ works. The other one's non-functional. So no, they wouldn't be considered two sexes. They're either one or the other, because either one of the organs function or the other organ functions, and the other one's a dead organ. You understand that's how that works, right? It's not like a fucking hermaphrodite can fuck themselves by putting their legs together. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. So you talk about believing in the science of it. Where the fuck are you getting your science from? Retard Magazine 101? Because it's not any science that America's ever fucking discovered. Or are you getting your fucking science from Africa, bro? Where they don't even have electricity, really? And they have no clean water, and they still have legal slavery, and they fucking kill their people in the streets, and if you're white in South Africa, you're going to be fucking genocide? Is that where you're getting your fucking science information from? Because it's damn sure not American science books. And you're not getting any of your psychology information from the DSM-5, because you would understand that people that are diagnosed under the DSM-5 with the mental illnesses you say you have, you can't testify in court, you can't, you know what I mean? You have no pot to piss in when it comes to any legal standings, because you're saying, oh, I'm in the DSM-5, but not one of you have an actual legitimate fucking diagnosis. Not one of you have ever been to a real psychiatrist and gotten a fucking diagnosis. We went to doctors when I was a child, when I was a little baby boy, and that's who told me I was ADD and put me on motherfucking Ritalin. You know what I mean? So, I guess when you people say I did meth, I guess you were right, because I took Ritalin until I was fucking 13, and that is synthetic methamphetamine. So, but see, it does the opposite for me, so there's no point in me doing that. It calms me the fuck down. Meth does, because I'm ADHD. So I love you guys. All we have to know is we can agree to disagree. We could enjoy each other's company. We don't have to fucking hate each other. I will keep stressing that to you kids until you fucking hear it. The funny thing is, though, you'll talk all this shit on here, but if you were to see me in public, you wouldn't say any of this stuff. None of it. You'd pretend like you agreed with me, and then you'd talk shit about me under your breath when I walked away. That's the funny part of it. Because I run across you people all the time. Like, you'll be at that rally screaming, oh, you're fucking Antifa espousement, and then you see me alone in fucking public, and you're like, walk the other way with a fucking head turned. Won't even look at me, because you're cowards. As one, you were weak, but together you were strong. Anyone that needs somebody else to make them strong is always going to be weak. And you know what's going to happen? You're just going to make that other person weak if they were strong. Because a unit has to be one unit working together, and everybody has to have the same strengths to feed off of each other. Wartime situations aren't people running through the streets with their magazines falling out of their fucking AR-15s while they're running, and you can clearly hear that was an empty magazine. You can clearly hear that y'all are running down the road with empty magazines. What are you going to do if a bunch of motherfucking patriots pull up to you with their fucking good shit, with their Daniel Defense, with their fucking nods on in the middle of the motherfucking night, and their fucking thermal optics that cost $7,000 on top of their gun, and you just get lit up because they have bullets in their gun? Stop. Just stop right now. Stop doing all of this. You know what I mean? You don't want this smoke. You really don't. It's more than you can handle, I promise. Because that's what rednecks do. That's what they do for fun. They go shoot shit. They kill shit for sport. You know what I mean? You can hit a deer running from fucking 800 yards away and drop a motherfucking deer. A skinny little no testosterone soy boy isn't going to be fucking much of a difference. It's be much easier. So let's just go back to where we actually protest, stop destroying shit, get out of the fucking middle of the street, stop attacking people, you know. And if you're going to attack people that can defend themselves. Don't attack 80-year-old fucking Chinese ladies. Don't attack old men. Don't attack defenseless little white women. You know what I mean? Come after some grown-ass men and attack them. How about that? You know what I mean? Because when you do that, you get put in the hospital, and that's no fun for you. You know? Like last night in Chicago, there was only about 5 of those fucking MAGA supporters out there. And there was hundreds of you, and y'all got the shit fucking stomped out of you last night by a dude in a blow-up T-Rex outfit. By a guy in a blow-up Halloween T-Rex fucking outfit. Beat the fuck out of you and dragged you through the asphalt. What do they have you on now? Joshua Campbell. Hey, did I just talk to you a minute ago? Were we just at the store together a little bit ago, Joshua Campbell? I'm just on here ranting right now, buddy. You better make sure I don't live. You gonna cook me, huh? Well, come cook me. I probably don't taste too good. Well then, come get it, Cell. Come on. I'll show you exactly how Gohan beat you, motherfucker. I won't even go Super Saiyan 2 on you. I'll stick with the old fucking regular Saiyan, my friend. I love the threats. Come on then. Come on, like I said. 33952 is my area code. Port Charlotte, Florida. Hold on, let me give you the truck. Here's my truck's info. You can't miss me. You can't miss me. You can't fucking miss me. Do-do-do-do-do-do. So, I'll read some more. Did you call me an old man? That's the first time anyone's ever called me an old man. What is a Christian to me? A Christian is a horrible piece of shit, sorry sinner in the flesh every single day. It can only come to the Father through the Son and has to ask for forgiveness on a daily basis. No matter how righteous you think you are, how good of a person you think you are, Jesus didn't come for the saints. Jesus came for the sinners. And I'm the type of Christian that tries to let other Christians know, just because you're not at church every day, if you don't go to church on the weekends, that doesn't mean you're going to hell. Okay, because wherever 2 or more are gathered is where the church is. Okay, and Jesus didn't come for people that were saints. Like I said, he'll leave the 99 to save the one every time. And I will gleefully fight for every one of you, whether you're on the right or the left, if I see somebody trying to hurt you. I don't care who you are. I love you. But tolerance is a sin in the Bible. This I have against you. You tolerate the Jezebel spirit and allow her to lead my children into sexual immoralities and depravities. So on the day of judgment, this I hate about you. You must hate all things God hates, or you don't love God. That's what the Bible tells you. Where did that just go? Make a cup of coffee. Then we're gonna... I didn't put any water in the fucking coffee pot. Son of a bitch. Well, I guess we're not having that cup of coffee after all. Swigs of moonshine. They always change smoke and off screen take swigs of moonshine. Y'all must be talking about something in the comments. Ow. I complain about things that don't exist. You don't exist. You're right. You don't exist. Thank you for admitting it. You don't exist. Not anymore. Everything, I'm not complaining, I'm giving facts. There's a difference. If I were complaining, I wouldn't be smiling about it. I'm giving absolute 100% facts, and you can't prove me wrong in any way, shape, or form, and you're too much of a pussy to debate me. So any of you that talk shit in the comments, nothing you say matters unless you're willing to debate somebody about it. Nothing you say matters. You're weak. You're nobody. You'll never accomplish anything in life because you just jump in my fucking DMs and talk shit instead of trying to start something yourself. I'm out here doing something. I'm accomplishing things. I'm getting people involved. You know, I might not be getting 100 million views, but 22,000 people is a fucking battalion, motherfucker. You know what I mean? When 22,000 people see my fucking videos, that's a battalion of motherfuckers that gets the message. You know, it only take me about 500 of me to fucking come after all of you. We can fucking bag you out in about a week doing fucking black bag operations in the middle of the night. Motherfucker, I could be right next to you and you'd never fucking know it. You would never know it. I could reach out and fucking lick your ear and you would never know I was fucking there before it happened, bud. I promise you that. I could lay in a hole and piss on myself and shit on myself for days while I'm waiting for the right fucking moment. Don't underestimate us old men, buddy. Because dirt don't bother me. Mosquitoes don't bother me. You know what I mean? You guys better calm down. Calm down. We're going to start spanking you in the middle of the streets. Or get the paddles out. Get the belts out. I'll be your Huckleberry. Skin that smoke wagon, son. Let's do it. Like I said, we got the dueling law in Florida. We can even make it fair. We can go old school. We can do black powder, you know. So whatever you guys want. The fuck? What's that smell? No, I don't. I sure don't. Do you really think Jesus would want you to judge me like that? And that's why so many kids don't want to be Christians, because of Christians, people like you that pretend to be Christians and don't understand that you're a sinning, sorry piece of shit just like I am every single fucking day. And if you don't ask for forgiveness every 5 seconds and beg God to change your will and make it his, and on the day that he finally does that for me, I will be in the same spot that Charlie is. You know, on the day that he finally takes my sinning piece of shit will away from me, because I'm not strong enough. The devil's on my shoulder every day. I'm a horrible, sorry scumbag piece of shit, and I know it. But I pray at least 100 times a day. And I talk to God all day long. I talk to Jesus all day long. And I beg Jesus, if this isn't how you want me to be, change me, please. Because you do understand that these words that you call cuss words weren't cuss words in biblical times, right? This is modern day made into cuss words. These words didn't even exist. They had much worse words in Hebrew for what they considered cuss words. But you clearly don't understand what speech is when it comes to biblical times, because what you call me cussing and being vulgar, do you know how vulgar priests were and politicians, or priests and deacons and stuff like that? You know how absolute vulgar they were in the Old Testament? You know how vulgar the disciples were? You know, when they first got with Jesus, they were trying to murder people for Jesus. They were beating people up. Peter especially, you know, he used to fight in pits for money. Some of Jesus' disciples were assassins that killed Jews. So when Paul went on his travels for Jesus in Revelation, what did Paul do? When Paul went to the Gentiles, he lived godless as the Gentiles to bring Christ to the Gentiles. When Paul went to the Jews, he lived as the Jews under the law of Christ, under the law of God, to bring those people to God. And so they could understand that even though they are the way they are, they can still be brought to Jesus Christ. So all throughout the New Testament, you've clearly never read your Bible. All of the disciples lived the way the people they went and preached to lived while they were with them, to bring those specific type of people to Christ. You do get that, right? There were no saints among the disciples. Yeah, I'm the devil. Well, then the devil must be a pretty good guy then and help a lot of people. The devil doesn't have a conscience. For you to even say something like that, that in my opinion, that's a hell of an offense, because that's a horrible thing to say. To compare somebody to the devil, the most ultimate evil there is, it's a horrible thing. No human being is the devil. No human being could ever be close to the type of evil the devil is. You might be the pedophile fucking the little kid, but it was the devil that made you do it without you even knowing it. Compare somebody to the devil. That's crazy. That's crazy sauce, bro. Compare anybody to Jesus or God is crazy sauce too. Y'all say we look at Donald Trump like he's God. What the fuck? There ain't nobody worshiping Donald Trump. I'll tell you that much. What you people think words mean is crazy to me. Like, you don't have any knowledge in your head. You're literally just stupid. Like, you don't have any knowledge. You don't know how the world works. You've never accomplished anything. You live in your parents' basements. Your stomachs hang over your motherfucking feet. You know, it's crazy how you guys act and think, because you have no actual history or knowledge behind anything that you do. Nothing. And you don't even have any support. Who do you have support from? Tell me. Right now, your own politicians aren't even supporting you. Your own politicians are backing off and letting you get dragged through the fucking streets right now. None of those cops are out there helping you right now. You understand? When the military comes after you, none of those cops are helping you. They're helping us. They're helping us. They're helping us get rid of you. Oh, I'm sorry I think that's funny, but god dang, for years now, the left has done exactly what they're crying about. You know what I mean? But the moment they start getting held accountable, oh, we're evil fascists, even though we haven't hurt them in any way, shape, or form. You know, we haven't hurt them at all. They're the only ones out here hurting people. They're the only ones out here killing people. They're the only ones out here destroying $142 billion worth of damage during the George Floyd riots. You're the only ones doing that stuff. Nobody else. So until the left stops burning down the country, well, I don't even have to say that anymore, because your party doesn't exist anymore. You don't exist. You fucked up when you did that with Charlie Kirk. You don't exist. You have no clue. We're literally going to take you. You don't understand. That's what people don't understand. We're literally coming for you. Not us personally, but the apparatus of the United States military. We're literally coming for you. You understand that, right? You're now deemed a terrorist. Just because you think you can get out in the streets and protest right now, we haven't started yet. Okay, this is weak sauce what's happening right now. We're getting everything in line, and we're telling you what we're going to do. And then we're just going to implement it, okay? So that's how we work. we're not changing laws. We're using existing laws, so it's legal. We don't have to change state constitutions to prosecute you. We don't have to change laws to prosecute you. We just have to enact the Constitution as it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Because as soon as that executive order drops, you're not going to these liberal jails anymore, these liberal prosecutors. You're getting charged federally. And these federal agents are going to take you to a federal facility that isn't run by the Democrats. That's run by the federal government and Donald Trump's administration. And you're going to be prosecuted. You understand that, right? After the law finally goes through, they sign the executive order, but it doesn't go into effect immediately. It usually takes 3 or 4 weeks, sometimes a month or two, for the law to go into effect. But as soon as that executive order goes into effect and you're officially deemed terrorist, you're not going to these Democrat prosecutors anymore. You're going to federal prosecutors now. So you're not going to be getting off on these charges with the left-leaning cops and the left-leaning prosecutors. They'll no longer be the ones that are arresting you. It'll be the military arresting you, and they're not taking you to jail. They're taking you to a federal facility. You understand this, right? Left, you understand this, terrorist, right? You're going to be held to federal standards. That's why we're charging you as federal charges. I'd prefer you to go to a state facility because it's more inconvenient for you, and they'll probably not let you walk out of there with who you are. And federal prison's a lot more cushy, but you're going to go sit there for a long time under terrorist charges. You know what I mean? And people in federal prison don't like you guys either. The only difference is you can get your own cell in a fucking federal prison. You can't in a state prison. So unless you want to go to solitary confinement. And after about 30 days of that, you're like, nah, fuck some solitary confinement. At first, you're like, I'd just like to get some sleep away from everybody else. Then you're like, oh, fuck. If you don't know what solitary confinement is, it's a 6-foot by 4-foot room where your toilet's right beside your bed. And you don't come out of the room 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You never come out of that room. You don't get to go outside. You eat in that room. You sleep in that room. You shit in that room. And the only time you come out of that room is once a week. One time a week, they let you take a shower. That's what solitary confinement is. Okay, 24/7 locked in a room. They don't even let you change your sheets or anything like that very often. You get to switch a book out maybe if they let you have a book. Normally, the only book you can have in solitary confinement is a Bible. So you're just sitting in a room with nothing. So if you want to go protective custody, that's what protective custody is, just so you know. You're locked in a room 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't get to make phone calls when you're in solitary confinement. You can only make phone calls when you're in fucking population. So just so you understand, if you get locked up and you PC yourself, you don't get to call your people. You don't get to order commissary. You just sit there in a room by yourself 24 hours a day. And if those guards know what your political affiliation is and knows you're a pedophile, that's going to be a real bad day for you. You might not eat for a few days. You know what I mean? Your water might not work. Your toilet might clog up. So I love you guys. But I just want you to understand the truth of how this is going to happen. Projection. Oh, you're clearly a Democrat. Tell me what projection means. Tell me. Because projection would be me saying this when it's you that's going to do it to me. That's what projection would be. Projection would be me saying that I'm going to lock you up when in reality, that's what y'all are going to do to us. That's what projection. You project on us the crimes that you commit. You know what I mean? You say that we're fascist when you're the fascist. That's projection. Okay? Me telling you what the fact of the law is not projection. You need to learn what the fucking definition of grammar, English, and fucking words are. Plain and simple. Because you people are fucking stupid. You understand that, right? You don't even understand what words mean. That's why we can't debate with you. Because that's why they get violent, because their brain goes, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. That's what these people do. You know, it's like their brain just goes retarded and they're just like, no, I can't do it. I can't think of the word. So that's a Democrat to the T. Then prove me wrong. Debate me. I'll go live with you right the fuck now. Wayne Perry. I'll go live with you anytime. This will be the third live. Third live that you've lived in my fucking DMs. Debate me. Prove me wrong. Show me the proof, because I'll show it to you. I'll upload fucking studios right now. Let's debate. Don't be a pussy about it. You don't need a tampon right now. I'm not hurting your fucking feelings. Be a grown-ass man about it and debate me. Don't be a coward. Don't be a coward. If I only had a brain. Do 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 do. Do I know what berserker means? You mean bear skin? Because they used to wear bear skins in the Viking culture, so they were berserkers, and they used to massively dose on shrooms and then go out and just fucking slaughter people? Yeah, I know what a berserker was. I was an Odinist for fucking 5 years. It comes from the Norse word that meant bear skin. Because most of the time, the berserkers would wear big, massive bear skins with bear heads over the top. And the people would think they were getting attacked by bears because they would be so brutal and fucking savage that they would just storm in and slaughter fucking everybody. I do advertisements for Bearskin Tactical on for Bearskin jackets on Rumble. I do ad read-offs for them on there. Do you know what the word fictitious means? Because Berserker Patriot Store is my fictitious legal name added to a company that I own. So do you know what the word fictitious means? I've lived everywhere. I prefer to live in a one-horse town. There's 178,000 fucking residents that live in my town. One-horse town. I live in one of the third richest fucking communities in the state of fucking Florida, bro. I'm down here by Boca and fucking Inglewood and Venice and Naples. I'm down here where Tucker Carlson lives. Tucker Carlson doesn't live I go out to Boca all the time where Tucker lives. I see him fishing every weekend. He's out there fly fishing all the fucking time. Now we're just bullshitting, guys. You know, the live's been over for a while. We've been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm just reading through your comments now because I finally got it to where I could see everybody's comments at the same time. So I don't come find anybody. You're in my DMs, buddy. I don't need anything from you. You clearly need something from me. And you don't have to find me. I've already told you where the fuck I'm at. So your words make no sense. You talk about I can't afford to get out of my one-horse town. What, you can't afford to come from fucking pussy-ass Long Island? Some old communist Long Island? To find me? You don't have to find me. I'll meet you. Nobody needs to find me. I'll tell you where I'm at and I'll meet you somewhere. You know what? I guess your screen name is just love, which is great. You're right. You're right. Y'all are fans of mine, even the ones talking shit to me, because you've been on every single one of my lives this week. Every single one. And guess what? I get a lot of concurrent views from my trolls. So this time I poured the water in, but I didn't. You do notice that every time I start talking about Christ, though, I always lose about 200 people off of here. Every single time I start talking about Jesus, demons flee. Boom, Paul Reed. I might be in Arizona in the next couple months because they got a lot of big stuff going on up there and happening. And we want to get out there with the drones and help. That's another thing we're going to be doing. What? Whatever that comment says doesn't make sense. Okay, let me read it out loud. They don't want to come together with us. Too strong for life. They don't want, that's the problem. We're trying. I've even said on here numerous times while y'all ever been on here, we don't have to hate each other. We could just agree to disagree. We could just fight about it, get it out of our systems and be fucking done with it. We don't even have to fight about it. We don't have to do anything. You people can just sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up and stop murdering people. It's just that easy. It's literally just that easy. Stop committing crimes. If you want to protest, protest. You know what I mean? But don't kill people. That's not protesting. That's you being the worst of the worst criminal terrorists of our country. You understand? Okay? You're not going to go down in history as good people. You get that, right? You're going to go down in history with people like Jeffrey Dahmer and Hitler and fucking shit like that. You're not going to go down in history as any type of righteous fucking rebellion. You get that, right? You're going to go down in the history books as the worst of this country. You will never, ever sit at the table with King MAGA because you don't millions or billions. You will never sit at the table of MAGA because you don't have millions or billions is what I'm assuming that is supposed to say. But I've had dinner with Donald Trump 3 times in 2016 when I owed the Trump store. All you got to do if you want to have dinner with Donald Trump is donate to the Trump Foundation. You know that, right? They'll send you an invitation. He has a big dinner like once a month and people are invited to it. It's not that hard to sit down at a table with Donald Trump. You might not get to talk to him, but all of the other people that are just as important are there too. You know what I mean? You make a lot of good connections. So when I had the Trump store, 20% of all proceeds that came into the Trump store were donated to the Trump Foundation in 2016 and 2020. So I've been invited to the dinners numerous times. You can donate $100 and you get invited to a Donald Trump dinner. So you do understand the majority of MAGA Republicans aren't billionaires though, right? You do get that? You do understand that? The majority of us that you call MAGA terrorists, we are the poorest of the poor. We're the people that run the country, you know? It's the poor people that run the country, not the rich people. Running the country doesn't mean making money. Running the country means keeping your electricity on, keeping your fucking water clean, keeping your sewers working. That's what running the country is. Okay? So having money doesn't mean you run the country. Dictating policies and laws are completely different from running the country. Because the politicians, if we just stopped working, the country wouldn't function. You understand? If we, the people, weren't here, we are the power of this country. If we, the people, just stopped functioning right now, the whole world would fall apart. You get that, right? There'd be no electricity, no clean water, no food, no nothing. Ivermectin? I don't know. COVID was a bunch of bullshit. Everyone in my family got it. And I gave all the nieces and nephews big old kisses on the cheek and let them snot all over me and breathe on me. And I still went to work every day, even though I supposedly had COVID. There's no worse than the fucking flu. I have unvaccinated sperm for sale, ladies. And I have unvaccinated blood as well. $8,000 a shot. I'm a pure blood. I've already said 8 insults in 6 seconds. What insults in 6 seconds did I say? I could probably get a lot more than that out in 6 seconds. I can give that a try if you'd like me to. Who's the simpleton? The one that's making the comment and getting paid for it? Or the one that's in my DMs that doesn't have a fucking pot to piss in and talks about all my shit? Oh, I'm still a heathen. What are you talking about? I'm still a horrible sinner. That used to be anything. But yeah, I used to be a real bad person. I used to be a criminal. That's why I can sympathize with you guys. That's why I say we don't have to hate each other. Because I understand hating myself. I get it, man. I get where you're at. I get that you think that you're accomplishing something. I get that you think you're fighting for something good. I did too. In the 80s and 90s, we wanted anarchy. It was all about punk rock and wanting anarchy and stuff like that. Man, my generation started what you're doing right now. You understand that, right? Not the Black Lives Matters and the trans Antifa dumbass shit, but the protesting. You know, we were out in the streets occupying things, but we weren't getting violent and hurting people and destroying stuff. You understand? We did. Like in 1992 in the LA riots, I was there, you know. I was a young teenager, but I was there with my brother. I grew up with fucking Hell's Angels. Yeah, I've done some pretty bad things in my lifetime. I was a pretty bad person for a while, you know, but I was raised that way. Once I, you know, got out of the foster system, once I ran away from the foster system and got out of there, what the fuck is that? Hey, who are you? Oh, no, you're just a silhouette. Okay. Tarp off my truck like a person fucking trying to get in my truck. But yeah, I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. One of my lives tomorrow, because I'm going to work for a couple hours in the morning, because it's not supposed to rain until about 2 o'clock tomorrow. So I'll be able to get the rest of that wall up tomorrow and get paid out for that job. But I'll sit down and we'll go through some of who I am. Okay, we'll go through the stuff. We'll go through who I am. We'll go through some of the stuff I've been through during all this political stuff. So you have a better idea of who's speaking to you. Because, you know, I've noticed that about social media personalities. You sit down and you listen to them, but you don't know who the fuck they are. You know what I mean? You don't know what their actual beliefs are because it's like it's scripted. I don't want my shit to be scripted. You know what I mean? When I do a newscast, that's one thing. But right now, I'm trying to talk to the people. I'm trying to talk to you guys and understand who you are and understand why you people on the left just are so angry. You know, if you can just change my mind. It's just that easy. That's all you have to do is try to change my mind. I'm not Steven Crowder. You know what I mean? I'm not Charlie Kirk. You say I'm so stupid, then tell me why I'm so stupid. Explain to me why you're the supreme person. You know what I mean? Explain to me why your beliefs are better than mine. Maybe I'll agree with you. Who knows? You know, because as you can tell, I damn sure don't agree with everything this administration does, and I'm not going to live in some fucking bubble and say, I like the fact that we're communist-style federalizing states when we're not fixing law enforcement and the politicians. I don't fucking like that shit, you know? I don't like the fact that we're supposed to be in the most transparent administration out there, and the fact that I've literally lost everything fighting for this administration, and then now we're not the most transparent. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite in my opinion. We're not getting transparency on anything. I don't like the fact that Cash Patel and Dan Bongino are doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? I don't see any actions happening. I want to see action. I'm tired of fucking words. I'm tired of all of this. I'm tired of everybody talking. I want to see fucking action. I want to take action. I don't want to sit back. And I don't want to just fucking make videos. I want to get out here in the middle of all you fucking terrorists and show you that nobody fears you. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody cares about your feelings. Your feelings don't dictate the Constitution. Your feelings don't dictate the law. Just because your butt hurt and your feelings got hurt doesn't mean you have to murder people, bro. If that were the case, god dang, I'd be in prison for 20,000 fucking consecutive sentences for people that hurt my feelings over my lifetime. Holy fuck, bro. Because I am a fucking human being. I do have feelings. They're very suppressed because I'm a grown-ass man and I have actual nuts between my legs. But yeah, I'm still a fucking human being though. People that say that they don't have any feelings and none of this shit gets to them, you're a liar. You know, because we all have feelings. We're all human beings. We all live inside our heads. We all think bad thoughts. We all do the same thing that each other does. We're all the same people. You understand that, right? We're just human beings. There's nothing different about us whatsoever, except the fact that you think it's okay to be evil and we think it's okay to be righteous. That's the only difference. You're on the side of the devil. You're literally saying that hell's Satan. You're literally siding with criminals, terrorists, and criminal invaders of our country. We're siding with veterans, Christians, and patriots. You know, we're on the right side of history. It doesn't matter what we have to do to get our country back at this point, because you just want to murder us. So the moment it's not necessarily the moment you assassinated Charlie Kirk. It's the moment you made millions of videos celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk and saying, we're all next. And you still back that up and you still gleefully espouse it. So the moment that started happening, I'll keep saying it over and over again. You actually don't exist anymore. Like this plane of reality, you're not in it anymore. You know what I mean? Your voice doesn't matter anymore. Nothing you get out here and say will ever accomplish anything ever again. We won't let you. See, we allowed you to do this stuff for the past 10 years. We allowed you to do this. We won't let you anymore. We'll just put you down. Do you understand? When a dog is rabid and it bites a child, you just put it down. That's what you do. You're not civilized human beings. You're acting like animals. You'll be treated like animals. You know? If you want to act like a pack of monkeys, we'll treat you like a pack of monkeys. You want to act like civilized human beings, we'll treat you like civilized human beings. You want to honor other people's constitutional rights, we'll honor your constitutional rights. But as far as we know, you tried to shut everybody on the right down. You cancel cultured us. You took our social media from us. You got us fired from our jobs. And now that you're getting held responsible, you need a tampon about it. We don't care. We just don't care. You know, I don't know how many times I can tell you that, but I'll keep explaining to you that we no longer care. You know, you can't rebuke me. I walk with Jesus. Oh no, our Jesus has every bit of domain over you, and you're going to find that out. You're going to find that out because we're going to do the work of God. And I'll post the website where I post all these people's information on, because you might not be able to dox them on social media, but I have a personal website just for doxing, because I don't have the policy not to dox these people. It's not illegal. It's just you get banned for it. You know what I mean? So tomorrow's live, I'll put a banner up on the website where you can go find out who all these terrorists are. We'll post everything about their lives, everything they've ever been convicted of, every text message they've sent in the past fucking at least 4 years, everything. We'll tell you all their social media posts, everything. You'll know exactly who these terrorists are. You'll see exactly how evil these people that come into my DMs and stay on my channel the whole time I'm live and are so sad and pathetic that all they do is talk shit. Why don't you get your own social media and then talk? Then, when you don't like what somebody's saying, you can just ban them. You know what I mean? Like the communist you are. But you see that you're still in my fucking 5 days later, you're still in my DMs because I haven't banned you, right? And I never will. Because you have the constitutional right to talk all the shit you want. But those of you in here saying you're going to murder me, we know who you are. We have a list. Don't be surprised when agents show up at your house in the middle of the fucking night one night and your freedom just gets taken from you because you're terrorists. We do not negotiate with terrorists in America. You understand that, right? Your administration might have negotiated with terrorists, but ours doesn't. We are terrorist pest control. Berserker Terror Pest Control Service is what we are. And I will dedicate all of my time and effort. I will give up the things that I have, and I will fight you. I will get out here every single day, and I will make as many videos as I'm possibly able to. And I will get out in the streets and I will show up to your rallies. And we will make it very clear that you are no longer welcomed in this country, espousing these terrorist ideologies. You know what we really want? We would love it if the penalty for your terrorism was all of these countries that you're taking up for. That's your punishment. You get sent there. So all you queers for Palestine, we send you to Gaza. You know what I mean? And we let you protest for them in the streets of Gaza and see how that works out for you. All you people out here saying you want all these criminal aliens in our country, wherever they're from, we send you to that country. You know what I mean? That should be their punishment. We send you to that country, and then you find out real quick how much you love America. You'll find out real quick how we're not racist and we're not fascists. And then you don't make it back because they don't let you. Because you don't have freedoms in other countries like you do in America. You don't get to just leave the country if they don't want you to. You know what I mean? And go in another country. Go to Poland. Go to Poland and break into their country. They shoot you on the spot. Go to Africa and break into. Nobody wants to break into fucking Africa, though. No one. Nowhere in the history of time has anyone fucking broken into Africa. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody trying to move there. They're just trying to get the fuck out of there. You know, what a shithole fucking country that place is. And they say we took our culture from them. You don't even have fucking electricity, bro. You don't even have fucking clean water or fucking sewage system. So, I love you guys. Have a good night and be blessed out here. Oh, yeah, Jesus walks with me every day. These people are so stupid.